Hey there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I talk about books and bookish things. I upload on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central. And today we will be doing a punch on the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, Volume 2 for translated works, and that is The Bus Driver Who Wanted to Be God and Other Stories by Edgar Carrot, translated by Miriam Schlesinger. Let's get into it. Okay, so this book, I want to preface this by saying this book has a 3.95 on Goodreads. It came out in 2001, so this book is 24 years old. It came out January 1st, 2001, so it's 24 and a half years old. The book blurb says, Israel's hippest best-selling young writer today, Edgar Carrot, is part court jester, part literary crown prince, part national conscience. The bus driver who wanted to be God gathers his daring and provocative short stories for the first time in English. Brief, intense, painfully funny, and shockingly honest, Carrot's stories are snapshots that illuminate with intelligence and wit the hidden truths of life. And as with the best comic authors, hilarity and anguish are twin pillars of his work. Carrot covers remarkable emotional and narrative terrain, from father's first lesson to his boy, to a standoff between soldiers caught in the Middle East conflict, to a slice of life where nothing much happens. The Bus Driver includes stories from Carrot's best-selling collections in Israel, Pipelines, and Missing Kissinger, as well as Carrot's new major novella, Neller's Happy Campers, a biting, satirical yet wistful road trip set in the afterlife for suicides. I read the whole thing. This book is not very long. It's only 130 pages in paperback, and there are 24 stories in this collection. It's a very robust collection. Most of the stories are only a page or two, which I've written flash fiction, I've written microfiction. I enjoy writing in those subgenres. This book makes me wonder if I forgot to take acid, if I forgot to drop acid before I started reading it, or if maybe I should just learn Hebrew and read the original, or what, because I did not get it. Like, these stories, I read them all. I read the book cover to cover. The title story, The Bus Driver Who Wanted to Be God, is the best one, I guess. It has Eddie who pleads with God to get his date only for her to be stood up. Yay! Goodman is the slice of life, I guess. It's a hole in the wall. There's a not angel who's just a liar with wings. Souvenir from hell, I just have question marks next to it because I have no idea what the hell I read. Uterus. A woman gets cancer, but her uterus is so pretty that it's donated to a museum. And people can go look at her pretty uterus. And I'm like, just ew. And also, break the pig. A kid falls in love with his piggy bank and then has to break it to buy the toy he's been saving up for. And he's just heartbroken and cocked and loaded. No idea. Flying Santinis. I have question marks again. Corby's Girl. I have can't even because it was just bad. Shoes. No effing clue what I just read. Missing Kissinger. I have no thank you. Robin's Dead. I don't even care anymore. Plague of the Firstborn is the 10 Plagues of Egypt from the Egyptian perspective, and that one was interesting, but like it's so caught up in being a morality play without being a morality play that it was just kind of awkward. Good Intentions. A guy takes out a hit on himself, and the assassins chicken out because he's such a good guy, and it's like, and I know, nobody will kill me. So I'm like, all right, I guess. Like, I feel like I've read that story by a different author. Like, I'm pretty sure I've read that story written better by a different author. Katzenstein is perfect. The narrator ends up in hell. The disappearance of Alan Schmesh, more question marks. Jet lag, a flight crew crashes a plane so people will take the safety demo seriously. That one was mildly humorous, I guess, but it lacked for the kind of humor it was trying to be, what my opinion of this is, you need the slapstick guy and the straight man to make it work. And it didn't have either. It had the guy who's freaking out because he's been selected to be the lone survivor, and the matter-of-fact flight crew. And it's like, but it didn't quite cross the finish line for me. Son of the Head of Mossad. I have F, I hate this pointless book. Pipes was just, I don't even know what Pipes was about. I read it and it didn't make any sense. Neller's Happy Campers was a 26-chapter short story with no plot. It's a short story told in 26 parts. Why? Last one, and it was just a little slice of life, and it was just kind of pointless. I have in my notes, what is the point of this book? Absurdist, but without the humor or grace. Just nonsensical gibberish. Would this book suck less if I could read Hebrew? How does his have 3.95 on Goodreads? Which, I stand by all of that I said. I don't understand what I read. Like, I don't know if I'm missing the cultural aspect, and maybe if I was Israeli or maybe if I was Jewish, this would make more sense. This would be funny. Like, I don't know if I'm missing a cultural aspect. I don't know if it's lost in translation. I don't know what I'm missing, but I feel like I'm missing something. Like, it's like, okay, so for anime, if you watch subbed anime with the subtitles, some of them will have little blurbs on the screen where you can pause and read the context for the translation and why they went with this translation over a literal translation. And it gives you little context, like in some subbing communities that do it. And that's really helpful. And I've watched the same anime on 2 different subs. One was a professional sub, and it didn't have that context added to it, so it didn't make a lot of sense. And then the other one was like a student sub project, and it had that context, and that made it make more sense. And I was like, oh, okay, I get the joke now. That's funny. And I feel like this either needs a lot of context or something, because it's not clicking in my brain. Like, it's supposed to be hilarious and okay, like, I'm not the biggest fan of slice of life, but usually it makes at least a little bit of sense somewhere. Like, it's engaging, and this just it wasn't engaging. It wasn't graceful prose. It was very clunky, and I think that's due to the translation. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe it's clunky in Hebrew too. It wasn't funny. It was just kind of there. And on the one hand, it feels pointless to complain about a book that came out 24 and a half years ago. And on the other hand, I just read this book. I bought it from an indie bookstore, so I'm not going to return it because the indie bookstore would lose money, and I'm not going to do that. But the bookseller at the store talked it up so much that I'm like, okay, I have to buy it. This is going to be great. And most of the reviews, aside from the ones that are like me, that are like, what the hell am I missing here? Most of the reviews are just glowing on this, and I do not get it. I just don't get it. If you've read The Bus Driver Who Wanted to Be God and other stories, please let me know what I'm missing. Or did you feel the same way? Like, I want the hours of my life it took to trudge through this book back. Like, I wish I had spent them reading anything else. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.